What's up guys, it's Eric from Volcanion and welcome back to the fourth and final round of the Expanded League Challenge that I got to go attend at Cape Fear Games in Wilmington, North Carolina. So over here on the left we have Tony Riggs returning from one of our earlier matches. He's playing his interesting Volcanion V-Create Victini deck, and over on the right you actually have yours truly. I'm going to be playing the Zoroark Lycanroc deck. And so one thing to note, this is the expanded format, so that means we are going to have access to cards all the way back from Black and White all the way up to the most recent set, Crimson Invasion. So lots of interesting cards you don't normally get to see in standard format. I'll be making an appearance in this video, so don't get too surprised whenever you see us start playing things like Versus Seekers and all of that cool rotated stuff. So we're going to have to see how this goes. I did get a peek at Tony's hand, and it is not the greatest. So he does have a Hoopa EX start, which is definitely his worst starter in the entire deck, and it doesn't look like he has a draw supporter beyond that I could see. So definitely a little unfortunate, and I am going to get there first, it looks like, as well. So I'm going to start with a Zorua, definitely my preferred starter, and I'm going to use Lycanroc GX to grab Bridget, definitely my ideal first turn supporter. So definitely here I'm going to grab myself a second Zorua, and then also probably some Rockruffs. Because, you know, Zoroark is my main attacker, but I am going to be reliant on Rockruff to, and Lycanroc more specifically, to choose what I want to take knockouts on. So just debating, do I want a second Rockruff or another Zorua? And, you know, I know Tony has this fire deck, and I know sometimes they can be a bit explosive, you know, with Blacksmith and things like that. It's not too hard to actually knock out on the first turn, so in the event that Tony does have a way to actually knock out my active Zorua, I still want 2 in play. So I think it's just a little bit safer to go for the extra Zorua in this case. And, you know, looking at my hand, I have Computer Surge, I have Skyfield, I have a lot of things ready to go for next turn, and I get down the Sudowoodo, which is very important against Tony's deck, since Tony is very reliant on Skyfield to fill his bench up to 8. My Sudowoodo is going to kind of keep him in check. It has that roadblock ability. It makes it so that my opponent can only have 4 bench Pokemon in play. So I play my own Skyfields in my deck, so normally that would allow both of us to have a bench of 8, but by having the Sudowoodo in play, it kind of creates a one-sided Skyfield where only I really get the benefit of it. So it looks like Tony's just going to Skyla for an Ultra Ball here, discarding 2 Fire Energy. No doubt wants to put those in the discard pile to potentially get back with Blacksmith at some point. So here he's going to grab himself a Hoopa EX, going to grab himself 3 Pokemon GX out of the deck. He's going to go for 2 Volcanions and a Shaman. So even though we did have to play the Skyla as his supportive return, you know, having access to Shaman in the expanded format will allow him to have some extra cards he can still draw for turn. So it's that Pokemon, whenever you bench it from your hand, you draw until you have 6 in your hand. So let's see what he's going to get here. Okay, so he's going to get down a Fire Energy. He's probably debating if he wants to put the Skyfield in play, but here he's just going to opt against it, kind of realizing that my deck is also very reliant on Skyfield, doesn't want to set it up for me. So here I'm just thinking, I have access to a Computer Search, I also have access to Ultra Ball. So I'm just trying to think what route I want to go here. So Zoroark GX does 20 for every Pokemon you have in play. So I need to get, I believe it's 9 Pokemon or 7 with a Choice Band to take a knockout here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So here I'm going to use Trey to discard that Field Blower to draw 2 cards. I'm going to put a Skyfield into play, and now I actually have a pretty decent hand here. I have Ultra Ball, so I can actually Ultra Ball away this Execute, which is very important for this deck. And looks like I'm debating if I want to get rid of the extra copy of Skyfield or the Choice Band. I think maybe going for Skyfield is going to be better here. Yeah, because Choice Band is going to basically ensure that I can take a knockout. So here what I can do is I can go for a Lycanroc GX. That's going to get me 1 more Pokemon closer to taking a knockout here. So I can attach Choice Band and play Colress. So giving myself, like, you know, the most odds possible to take a knockout on this Hoopa. And right now I actually believe I have enough Pokemon in play. I have, was that 7 Pokemon, so that's 140 damage plus the 30 from Choice Band. So that's pretty good. The only other thing I can maybe ask for is if I get another basic Pokemon and a Lycanroc, I could potentially take a knockout on this Volcanion as well. And okay, so I actually do get the Lycanroc. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to evolve into Zoroark GX, and now I can abuse this Execute. It has that propagation ability. If it's in your discard pile, you can return it to your hand. So I'm going to do that to discard it with trade and draw some more cards. Do I have another basic? Okay, I do have an Ultra Ball. So what I can do is I can Ultra Ball away that Execute again, and it looks like I'm going to get rid of a Karen as well. Not too much of a great card here. Just going to put it in the discard pile to maybe get back out with a Versus Secret at some point. So here I can bench a Rockruff, which is great because I have a Lycanroc in hand, and now that I have another Rockruff in play, I'll have access to another Lycanroc, hopefully on the following turn as well. So here I'm going to evolve into Lycanroc using that Bloodthirsty Eyes ability to bring up Volcanion EX and take a knockout here. So I did actually have one of the baby Zoroarks in my hand. I could have evolved into it, but you know, his bench size is only going to be limited to 4, so I don't know if that one's going to be better than maybe just another Zoroark GX. So I'm opting to just give myself the option and hold on to it just in case I want to evolve that Zoro into another Zoroark GX. But here he is going to Guzma, bring up my Lycanroc, I'm assuming probably to try to strand me in the active spot. And here Tony's just in such rough shape because he doesn't have a way to really power up a Volcanion in one turn. He can't use Blacksmith because he already used Guzma. So here he's just going to use Energy Retrieval and probably have to power up this Volcanion manually. So definitely not his strongest game that he's had yet. So let's see, it looks like he has another card he's debating on playing down here. So he's going to bench another Shaman just to draw a few more cards, and it doesn't look like anything really that he can make a lot of use out of, unfortunately. So here he just has to pass. But honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I have 2 Zoroarks in play, so I can pretty much dig through my deck to hopefully get myself a Floatstone here. So I'm going to get back this Execute, and no doubt use its use it to... Okay, so I'm going to use it to get rid of some cards to play this Ultra Ball. I still will have access to it to use Trade as well at some point. So here I actually decided to go for an Ultra Ball to grab a Tapu Lele GX to get, I think, Guzma, but unfortunately I think my other Lele is prized, so that's a little bit of a misplay on my part, not realizing you know, that I had it in the prizes. So here I'm already playing the Ultra Ball, so here I'm just going to get myself a Zorua just to thin another card out of the deck. And so, you know what, I'm still not too worried. Worst case scenario, I can just pay an energy to retreat this Lycanroc. But here I'm going to get a little greedy. I'm going to try to go for the Floatstone. So I'm going to use Trade on both of my Zoroark GX. And here, okay, so I do have energy in hand. So at the very least, I can get down an energy attachment and manually retreat, which isn't the end of the world. I can still take a knockout. I'm just trying to maximize, you know, my chances for making something happen. So I'm going to evolve into another Zoroark GX. And I'm actually going to choose to discard Bridget with Trade here, just because, you know, it's kind of a dead card now. Even though I could just use the Execute for free, I'd rather get rid of an unnecessary card out of my deck for the rest of the game. So here I can get down a double Colorless Energy, and then I think I have Colress in my discard pile. Yeah, so I can just use that and refill my hand to an obnoxious size. So I have 8 bench Pokemon, and then Tony over there has 4, so I can shuffle in and draw a whopping 12 cards. So I would not be surprised if I did get a Floatstone at this point. But like I said, worst case scenario, I can just retreat this Lycanroc and just take a knockout with Zoroark. So either way, I think I'll be in a fine spot. And the first card you could see there was a Floatstone, so that means I won't have to actually discard this double Colorless Energy. So here I can just retreat for free, promoting this Zoroark GX, and take another knockout, going down to 2 prizes. And so at this point, unfortunately, I think, you know, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's game over. You know, Tony just has not had that great of a setup. If he gets a Field Blower, that could actually give him a chance at staying in this game, getting rid of my Skyfield. But even still, just a Guzma on a Shaman would win me the game, or a Lycanroc would win me the game on a Shaman, so I think he might just be too far behind at this point to come back. He does run the V-Create Victini. Actually, he runs quite a few of them in this list, so if he can force me to you know, knock out one of those, potentially going down to an odd amount of prizes, that could be one way that he could try to get back in this game. But you know what, even if he ends me down to a low hand size, I have 3 Zoroark GX in play, so I can just draw out of that if, you know, if I have to. So I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at right now. Here he's going to get rid of a Blacksmith and a couple Skyfields. Kind of realizing Skyfield is definitely a dead card in this matchup since I have my own out. Here's going to get down a Choice Band, and he is going to end. So like I said, you know, he is going to end me down to a low hand size. You know, it's that supporter. Both players shuffle in and draw equal to the amount of prize cards they have left. But since I have 3 Zoroark GX and that Execute in the discard pile, I can literally just draw 6 cards for free. So, and doesn't do too much, but you know, Tony's doing what he can. He's trying to maximize his chances of staying in this match. And unfortunately, he just does not have much he can really do here. He does have a Float Stone, so he can get the Shaman out of the active spot. But unfortunately, I just don't see anything else he can do. So here he's just going to extend his hand, and that is going to be the game. So definitely a little bit of an anticlimactic final round at this tournament. But nevertheless, you did get to see the power of Lycanroc Zoroark in action. We did upload another match with it in round 3, and it didn't really get to show off its strategy too well, so happy to at least have one video where the deck is working normally. But yeah, guys, definitely go check out rounds 1 through 3. We did upload those if you have not already seen those. But as usual, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you can support our channel by picking up something from our online store at rarecandytcg.com, or by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. Shout out to all of our patrons over there. It would be greatly appreciated. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one.